Hey everybody, my name is J.P. Leonard.
I'm Tyler Arceneaux.
And you are listening and or watching.
Yeah, always both.
Always both. We're dying down here, a
That's us.
stand-up comedy podcast about fish.
This is our Sweet 16.
17.
17.
Yeah,
you just told me and I forgot already.
We're legal in most states now.
Who we got?
I don't know. No, before we get to this, if you're watching this on YouTube or not, just go subscribe, Lafayette Comedy Network, subscribe. I don't care if you watch it, just subscribe. We need those, Spotify, Apple, and all that. But this episode, we have all the way from Houston, Texas, we got Andrew Youngblood and
Jessi Saldaña.
Roll it.
He pointed at me because he don't know how to say his last name.
Correct. Roll it. And we are back.
We're back, man.
Tyler, you all right?
Yeah, dude. I'm coming down.
All right.
Been on the road.
Suppositories.
Yeah, dude. It's been crazy. I saw a doctor today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was he just in traffic? I saw a dentist the other day at the mall. All right, go ahead. I don't go to the mall. What happened? What did the doctor say?
Said,
Let me guess. You're fat.
God damn it. Why you took my joke?
I'm sorry. Let's take it back. I can cut it.
Good. You're good.
What did he say, Tyler?
He said, let me guess, you're fat. No.
Oh, boy. All right. Comedy's hard.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, all things are good. Just doing a little blood work, getting a little checkity check.
He's like, your blood type is gravy.
Yeah.
You can use that.
C++.
Boy. Yeah.
It's been a while since we talked, I feel like.
Yeah. Last episode was came out July 21st. That was old Sam Talent, Nathan Lunn. A huge response on that.
Yeah.
Great numbers. Probably number 2 under Marc Maron. Lots of comments. A lot of Sam Talent fans, man.
Yes.
And we got some good clips off of that. Sam's great. Nathan's great. Comics. That was the best clip
Callbacks.
ever. Yeah. Wrapped it with a little bow. But yeah, man, it's we've been busy. Let's talk about it. Let's go back to the so the last one, we came off that crazy weekend with Mark Norman. We talked about all that.
Yeah.
That was great. And then we had Brian Posehn, and then the weekend after that, we had a 2-show weekend. So here on Friday night, we had Amir K. You may know Amir if you've seen Theo Vaughn, which, by the way, Theo Vaughn's back in November at the Cajun Dome.
I messaged Theo, by the way.
Did he message you back?
Oh, no.
Oh, he's probably your doctor. So
I messaged, I was like, hey, I'm one of the best comedians in Louisiana. I'd love to open for you.
Yeah, he filed that in the do not reply bin.
I really did.
I can think of 12 other open micers that sent the same message.
Yep.
Yeah, so we had Amir K here. Great show. Hang on, let me rephrase that. We've had a lot of shows here. We've had a lot of comedians. I've never seen a comedy show that turned into a MAGA rally hosted by a comedian who was Middle Eastern.
That's incredible.
I opened the show hosting it by saying this looks like a Scandals reunion, and these people lost their mind. They were so polite for me. They were so polite for
Michael
Corey. They were so polite for Michael al-Baghdadi, which shout out. Glad he came down. I haven't seen him in forever. But when Amir K got on stage, as soon as he leaned into any type of crowd work, it turned into a clusterfuck fest.
Jesus.
It looked like the White Apollo here. There were white dudes who would stand up and yell shit and walk around the crowd. I've never seen anything like that. There was a big bald-headed dude with a beard who just started yelling out like fuck Joe Biden, and like it wasn't even related. And Amir's like, "What are you talking about?" And it was like, and he's like, "I'm from Detroit," and he's like, "What are you?" Dude, I don't know. There was people Amir knew. There were some women. They would not stop. They had 2 other women who wanted to be the star of the show. There were people. This was the, not say worst, the most wildest crowd we've ever.
Sounds bizarre.
Doug Stanhope was not as this wild.
Yeah.
It was crazy. We got through the show. At one point, I was just Amir's like, "How much time?" He's like, Did I meet the time?" I was like, 30 Klan rallies ago, and he's like, "What?" And then anyway, we had a good hang after. We went hang at cafe. He loved it. We smoked cigars, had a good hang. But that night, you were with.
I was with Luis J. Gomez that night.
Never heard of her.
In Nolans.
In Nolans, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun, man.
At the Wolf?
Drove out there, stayed the night at the Howlin' Wolf.
You slept at the Howlin' Wolf?
Yeah, I slept in the little room.
Okay.
The den.
The band didn't wake you?
Yeah, I was like a cub in the den. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
All right, you got it. Nailed it.
Yeah. You get it? It's a wolf.
I got
wolf
it.
reference.
I got it 12 minutes ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had great ticket sales that night. Lewis did very well. And the show was great, man.
Nice.
Honestly, top to bottom. Very fun. We had hosted by Samantha Bednars. Wow. Very fun. He had his opener, Naeem Ali.
His name is Naeem.
No, I was saying
okay.
I was prefacing what I was about to say.
I got it.
That's how I say it. That's how I introduce people. I'd be like
Naeem Ali.
Name JP Leonard.
Yeah. Name. That dude is crazy. He was great.
Funny too.
It was so good. So
very funny.
So the next night, you had anything else? Was there anything else?
No, I would love to be able to sit here and spin a golden tale about a crazy night with Lewis, but they just went off to chase pussy and left me to myself. So I actually hooked up with some local New Orleans comics.
Damn, like an orgy? Oh.
Me and Samantha and some other locals went meet Marcus Bond and Siamedes.
Yeah.
We went over to Sports Drink.
Yeah. Shout out Sports Drink.
Yep.
If you're in New Orleans, check out Sports Drink. Amazing people. Shout out Andrew.
Yeah.
Great people. Go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Can't wait to be there again for the second time and performing next time, maybe.
Yeah, nice.
Hung out, got to shoot the shit. Next day, I got a great recommendation for some soul food.
Oh, where?
I went to Dizzy's Cafe, and it was incredible.
Damn, I've never been.
I met our friend John Reynolds over there.
Yep.
And
good dude.
Yeah,
good dude.
We had a great meal. I went to the casino, lost $40 or so.
Yeah, it's all right.
And then picked up Lewis and drove here.
Yeah.
And we had an amazing show here.
That was a great show. It was me, you, Naeem.
Yeah,
and
Naeem Ali.
and Gomez. And you want to talk about if there was ever a crowd I would thought would be disrespectful, it would have been a Gomez show. And they were freaking amazing. Mm-hmm. Shout out. If you were here, you were great. Great people.
Yeah.
Great show. Good hang after. We took them to Tap Room.
Oh, yeah.
We had a good time,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Next week, we had Stone versus Drunk versus Sober over here. Killer show. We had Houston Comics. We had, shout out Danny Guerrero and Ruben Egan, who now lives in New York. They won on Team Stone. We had Ruben Medina. We had two Rubens. Joshua Jordan. We had Don Shake Snyder and Coleman Wilson. Funniest moment ever happened was Don not leaving the stage and hiding behind there. It was great. Great show that night. Amazing turnout. We were like 150 pre-sale. 150. That's crazy. That beats national shows.
That's awesome.
And then the next night, I had to defend my honor as Kenny Rogers for Ghost Roast.
Took it down.
I took home the win because Sinead O'Connor didn't show up.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Cleaned up.
What a great show. Did
Yeah.
stand up. Yeah, I actually
almost sold out or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was crazy. At Cité d'Art, shout out Oof Comedy, John Merrifield. We did stand up. The winners did it, and I didn't want to do it, and I ended up having a good time. And I did my set, and I had a great.
Did
it was
you
so
set
good.
As Kenny Rogers?
No, I kept the shirt on. But
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
I would have been hoarse. And then the next week you left because you did a little tour. You
Yeah,
want to tell
man,
us?
I went. Dude, I did so much driving. I was in a car for 52 hours, almost 4,000 miles.
Were you on the Basin Bridge? Shout out Basin Bridge.
The Baton Rouge to Lafayette, dog. I drove up to Arkansas. I spent one night in Little Rock hanging with Brendan Robar.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, our buddy from from around here lives up there now. And then he actually opened for me the following two nights in Springdale and Fayetteville. Springdale is one of the best shows I've ever been a part of. It was incredible. It was a beautiful little brewery, little brick shotgun style room, very tight. A lot of people jammed in there, very attentive. We had a makeshift stage because they're in the middle of a remodel.
Yeah.
So I was like literally on top of some pallets.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, I sat in a chair. If you'd have been there, you'd have taken so many pictures.
Yeah, I would have to text him, shoot him the Terrence Delane.
Dude, I felt like I used the chair good. I did like 45 minutes.
Did you do like a flash dance thing?
Yeah,
like,
dude, it was
pull the water. Yeah, it's just a dude with a Michelob Ultra.
Just Truly's.
Truly can't be serious. All right.
It was great, man. I had, honestly, probably one of the best sets I've ever had.
Nice.
Yeah, just did the damn thing for 40 minutes. Did all the jokes, every joke in the repertoire.
Yeah.
Next night, probably the worst show I've ever been a part
all
of
right,
before.
let's get names.
Bro. I will say this. It was sabotaged from the get. It was poorly promoted. The people who produced the show, very nice people, took care of me, went above and beyond, even sat in the front because there was no one else there. So,
Oof. I was like, wait, that's no.
yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. If you ever catch me sitting in the front of my own show, shit's going awry.
It's a
Sorry.
problem.
Yeah.
The sound guy was a local comedian. Honestly, I don't remember his name, but I wouldn't really want to dignify it.
Did he have a one name stage name?
You know what?
Might as well be. Okay.
Yeah, I have no clue. Couple syllables maybe. But this guy talked to comedians through the God mic during their sets.
With a monitor on stage?
No.
Wait, how would you hear him?
Because he's coming through the speakers like everyone else.
I quit comedy. I'm done. I would have burned, if you're watching, I would have burned your fucking venue to the ground. Respectfully. But
oh, and then during my feature, Jason McAdams, shout out to Jason from Tyler, Texas. He, during his, I believe it's his closer or maybe one of his later jokes, it's a reference to a song. And the guy tried to play the song as like to enhance the bit.
oh yeah,
But it ruined the joke is all. So it did exactly what you
no
think
shit.
It would do. Yeah. Dude, worst show ever. So inevitably, I got up there and literally, dude, things were going south immediately. I mean, I was getting nothing from the few people that were there, weren't very much paying attention. I did get some funny moments out of crowd work. This guy just would not shut the fuck up. And I tried shutting him up multiple times.
Regular audience member?
Yeah, regular audience member. And then, like, at one point, he raised his hand. And I was just like, this isn't school, but what, sir? What do you want? And, like, he happened to be asking me a question about the joke that I was telling. And I was totally going to answer the question he asked had he given time. So he walked right into a bit. And I fucking, like, I hit him with the bit. And that's honestly one of the first things that popped the room the entire night. And then I did all the tags for the bit that he walked into, and it like kept rolling. And I felt like that was going to gain some momentum, and then the next joke, it was just back to bullshit. So, needless to say, I cut that set short, did not do 40. But I demanded my money. No.
Pay me.
No, it was interesting, to say the least. The
least.
Next night was Kansas City. Kansas City, awesome. Great barbecue. I have some awesome friends that took care of me over there. Had a great show with Steven Taylor.
Good dude. Shout out
awesome,
Steven.
Dude. I mean, just...
Shout out Chris Porter. He's from Kansas City.
The first thing me and Steven did when we saw it, like, when I shook his hand, introduced myself, he asked me how things had gone, and I told him about the night before and that guy, and he was like... I know, like, I like how you can meet somebody and know that you're going to be good friends with them just by who they don't like. And then we bonded over our mutual disdain for this guy. So lots of fun. Had a great set there. I did over 30 minutes. So, 3 nights in a row, running 40-ish, 30 to 40 minutes, man. And then
that's how you do it. That's how you stretch them legs.
Felt super good that night. Next day, got up early, drove 7 hours to Indy.
Ooh, shout out Alex Price.
Alex, man, hooked me up.
Yeah.
Him and his homie that produces a show with him. I forgot his name. I'm not even going to try to remember. But they really took care of me. A lot shorter set, but the room was fun. And I met a ton of cool people from all over the place. That show was packed with people from Pittsburgh, New York, Chicago. It was crazy. It was like no one on that show was from Indy. It was, and that's not normal.
Yeah,
it was
that's a well-respected show, and for a Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have a ton of people who go through there.
Yeah.
I had to bail on it. I think it was last year I was supposed to do it, and I had to back out due to I had a whole tour built. Didn't do it, but I can't wait to do it. So
I didn't get to do as much time that night, but it was still a lot of fun. I got to hang out with a old friend of mine, Cameron Grubbs. I don't know if you know him. Yeah. So Cameron lives up in Muncie, which is not too far from there. So he came to meet me, and him and his lady took me out afterward. We actually went to where Alex Price works at Kilroy's.
Oh
yeah, and had some food there. But yeah, that was great. Then I drove the next day 7 hours to Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Shout
out Chris Ivey.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Ivey hooked me up with that show. Nick Canada from the Movie Ruiners podcast.
Those
guys are dope as hell.
So we referenced that on our last episode when we talked about the Mark Norman tour, the weekend we did, because he had to go film that podcast, and I watched it, and it's a damn good watch.
Yeah.
It's really good. Those guys are comedy fucking nerds.
Bro, when I tell you the episode we did is going to be awesome.
I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, it's very good. We watched Dazed and Confused. They gave me some great gifts. I stayed at Nick's house.
Nice.
They just went above and beyond taking care of me. He drove me to we went eat beforehand. He drove me to the venue. I mean, just could not ask for more. Venue was great. Ran by some up-and-coming producers in that scene, a little bit younger, not super established, but still, like, that's where they run one of the bigger mics that they have there. The venue was beautiful. It was a lot of fun. We were doing it in a room that really wasn't super catered towards comedy, but honestly, it was the best show it could have been in that situation. I mean, 40 people there paying attention and laughing, but it's a gigantic room, so the sound's like running away, and it's really weird feeling.
Yeah.
It's echoey as all hell, and there's no stage, but, like, you know, it's a show, dude. You know, I've done worse.
Yeah.
What can I say? And I got to stretch my legs and do like 30 plus there again, so it was great. Next night, super, super fun night. Got to do like a book show at the front of an open mic, and then the open mic happened after in Ocean Springs, Mississippi with Krangus.
Shout out Krangus.
Krangus, great hang.
What's it called? Is it Landmass?
The Juke Joint.
No. What's his comedy thing?
I really don't remember.
All right. Shout out Krangus.
Yeah, Krangus.com.
Krangus Comedy. ChrisKrangus.com.
Krangus.com.
Is that his website?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. All right. Guys, go to jason.com. Also, Tyler.net, because Tyler.com was taken.
Tyler.fat.
Wait, are they doing fat now? 'Cause I'm
that dude. Yeah, he really took care of me. I made more money in tips than the show, which is, I mean, I'm not even. That's not saying anything about the show. It's just money. It's the tips were crazy.
That's it. Yeah.
But a lot of fun. I got to stretch my legs again, do a lot of fucking time. Did some new stuff. Man, that was fun. And then watching the open mic was great. Just going to a new scene and like sitting back after crushing, and then being like just sitting back and watching micers struggle.
You're like,
it was so much fun.
I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it was fun.
I missed that. I missed the feeling of doing a mic and you're just going, what the hell?
Yeah,
that's the best. You know.
Yeah. Our mics are too good. Like every time I have my mic, it's like top to bottom a great show.
My mic was so good it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. But that was the end. That was 6 shows in a row.
Nice.
And then I went home for 2 days, and we left to go to Panama, which is how we closed out the summer.
So we did
style, bro.
Bruh. So we did the Gay Dads Part 2 tour. Because the first one was me, Drew, and Michael Corey when we went to Austin. This time it was me, you, and Josh Watts. Hang on. Sucks. Anyway, I hate him. We left here on a Friday, allegedly. Picked him up wherever he lives. And then we rolled to Panama City.
Bro's awesome.
Shout out Jason Hedden, Panama City Comedy. Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So first of all, hooked us up, hotel room for 2 nights, same hotel room, which is always good. Not us in the same hotel room, but same hotel we stayed at.
Each night.
There you go.
Right.
That's it.
Also 2 rooms.
2 rooms.
Dude could have easily been like, hey, here's 1 room, figure it out.
Yeah, you guys bring an air mattress and towels.
But he did not.
No. And the first night we did Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah.
Which I got a bit out of it. I'm okay with it, but it's where they're like the bartenders are rude, but they're really nice. I just felt like they were natural.
Rude.
She's like, "What you want, mother?" And you're like, "All right, I'm like, can I get this?" She's
Why'd
like,
she call you mother?
Well, there was an effort on the end of that, but yeah.
Why'd you edit yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. For kids, she was like, "What you want, motherfucker?" And I was like, "A salad." And she called me gay and left. But that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that show was fun. So Olivia Cersei, shout out Olivia.
Host.
She hosted
With
it.
the most.
Then we had a guest set for someone, and then who went? Then it was Josh or me.
No, then you.
Yeah. And then
Then me.
Yeah, and then Josh.
Yeah.
And I was worried about that set because we had a group of what's the term? White women, and they would not shut up. But the majority of them were really nice, but they would not stop talking, even though they were warned. At the end of the show, apparently you and Josh got accosted by the main lady of the group. I was talking to another lady. We had a great time. We talked about all kind of stuff. And then the best thing ever happened, they left a review.
Boy, did they.
Boy, did they. And it was like to the effect of like, we bought 20 tickets and we were told we couldn't talk at this comedy show, which if you've never been to a comedy show, I want you to rethink that.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's just funny how she put it too. She was like, we were told we couldn't talk. I mean, come on. It's a comedy show.
It's a comedy show. You know how you do that? So,
and dude, but look.
Boy, did they ever talk. And
boy, did the armies come a swarming.
So she left a review on the Panama City Facebook page. And then I made the mistake, but the good mistake of sharing it with our little chat that we have. And our little soldiers who've never even, I don't know if they've ever been to Florida.
They didn't even know Florida was a state, by the way.
Yeah, they were, they just call it Trumpville.
They thought we were in like South Mexico, Panama.
They started commenting on her post, and then that got shared, and Jason shared it, and then it took off, and everyone had every scenario. Like, I went to a Chili's, and they told me I couldn't cook my own food, and it was
she was
everything.
Getting roasted.
So it hit hard.
Also,
then
she was like just a very privileged white lady with like a $2 million beach house for sale.
$2 million beach house in Panama City. And it wasn't even on the front beach. It was like a block off. Like, you poor piece of crap. Yeah, you moved to New Iberia. The New Iberia of Panama City. And then she took her review to Google. And then, so I like to hit fire with fire. So every time I see a bad review that's unwarranted, I leave a great review. And so the Army started doing that. And then it got so big, and I'm sure some people reached out to her, and because some people were leaving reviews on her business page, that she took both of them down. But that exists out there, and it was a win.
So funny, bro.
And Jason couldn't have been happier. She took a picture of him at the show. She's like, pretty much like, this asshole told us we couldn't talk, and now it's his profile picture.
I know.
Mwah. Beautiful. So
that was night one.
So we went swimming that night. 3 husky bears in the pool.
That was great.
Had a great time smoking. I've never smoked a cigar in the pool before.
Yeah.
I'm now one of those dudes. And then the next day we went to this, what was it called? What was that little beach area with the lagoon?
St. Andrews.
St. Andrews.
Yeah.
It's a little state park.
The jetties.
We chilled in like the lagoon area with some jetties and some beach, and we had fish nibbling on our toes. It was amazing. Great time. We went
a little
eat
fish
after.
manicure.
Little fish manicure, yeah.
Pedicure.
I'm like, whatever, that's fine.
Cures.
Fish-a-cure.
Fish
Yeah.
cures.
I had a few testicle tears. Anyway,
What?
No, sorry. That was it for me. And then this is going way too long.
No,
Only took 28 minutes for me to talk about my balls. And then we ended up going to eat and then chilled. We all crashed, and then we did the next show the next night at the Tiki. Little Village.
Yeah,
it's like an outdoor venue in a tiki hut. Great show. They took care of us.
Crowd.
And then we could not. It was a great show, but we could not wait to finish so we can go back to the pool. Yeah. And we had a blast. Drove back the next day. We had Buc-ee's to and fro.
Oh, bro, so much Buc-ee's.
So much. Yeah.
Man,
what a crazy!
That was an amazing trip.
I needed that because
I can't wait to go back.
So
let's go back next weekend.
All right, let's go. So let's get to our episode. We have Andrew Youngblood from Houston, Texas, and Jessi Saldaña. Saldaña.
Bro, you can't say it.
Jessi. Oh, Jessi S comes to the show.
Jessi S.
We had Andrew Y and Jessi S here on a Thursday. Fun show. Fun show. First time I got to meet Jessi. Great dude. Great comic. And that's it. Check it out.
Roll it.
Yeah. All right. We are here with Jessi Saldaña.
Yeah. Butchered it. After nailing it, almost butchered
Saldaña. Saldaña. There we go.
Trying way
I
too
feel like
hard
you're
there.
popping the da a lot, right?
I'm from Morgan City.
There's a D in there.
Yeah, there is one, but is it a da?
Nah, it's
Saldaña.
Jessi's little D.
Jessi,
Almost like you're saying
what's your
Tanya,
name, Jessi?
but with a D. It's like Tanya with a D.
Oh yeah, there you go. Tanya.
I'm going to drop the D. Oh.
Saldaña.
And we have Andrew Youngblood.
That's exactly how it is.
Yeah, nailed it. Cool. Yeah. I am Leonard, and that is Tyler Arceneaux.
That's it.
Do you like going by JP or Jason?
I go by JP in the comedy world.
I called you Jason earlier. And
That's fine.
And after I did it, I felt a little. I was like, I think I might have fucked that up.
No, it's lean into it. I call him Jason to show off in front of other people.
Yeah.
Well, we've known each other a long time.
Yeah, that's fine.
There you
No,
go.
because I started as Jason, and then people started calling
Transition to
I
JP.
transitioned.
He dropped the P with all those pounds.
Yeah, thank you.
He dropped 50 pounds and the P.
Look how hormones are
he
kicking
is.
in,
He's
man.
so
It's
brave
great.
now.
No, I got less hair. It's weird. No, because we had that JP's bar back in the day, and people thought that was associated with me, and then somehow they started calling me JP, but also Paul is my middle name. So then when my whole day job, I was like, how can I separate this? So I transitioned to JP.
I think that when you were running that JP's place, that's the first place I ever met you at. Mm-hmm. It was me and Gabe, and I forget who was headlining. I think maybe Chase DeRusso. Yeah.
Love that guy.
And I don't know if you remember it. So it was like a show, Mike to follow situation,
Always,
right? Yeah. And there was a guy whose roommate had just killed himself.
Oh yes, that was.
And
Rest in peace,
and
Johnny
we
Bruce.
felt
Start
really
this
bad.
off with a lighthearted
we
story.
felt really bad. Well, here's the thing: is me and Gabe were trying to figure out who was going to go up before So I ended up going first. It was fine, and then Gabe goes up, and I'm sitting in the back next to this guy who's sad about his roommate, and he's just been putting him back.
And
I know
so
this story. He goes. Just starts puking into his glass, fills it up, and the bartender grabs another pint glass and switches it out flawlessly. But he is dry heaving for about 5 minutes of Gabe's set, and Gabe's like, "What's going on back there?" And it's just a guy going, and it was sad.
Wait, I don't know if you remember, he started puking outside of the glass. He puked more, and JP's had a lip, so it wouldn't on the edge of the bar.
Yeah.
So the puke wouldn't run off. It just kind of made it like a peninsula on the bar,
like a moat.
And then I think Flip, the guy who was running the bar, made him clean it up. And so during the show, he was cleaning it up. Good times.
He had to clean it up, and you're like, "My friend just died."
Is this a
You can't
comic?
Give me a break. Yeah, it was. Is it still?
Gosh.
Yeah. No, he's great.
Still a comic.
CTV.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Top-notch comic.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, the guy who died was a comic too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a real important moment in our scene.
Yeah.
Was
that
it?
was.
I mean,
it was
not
good,
like
though.
You're going to talk
yeah.
about it for a long time.
No, not at all. No.
We're talking about it now.
You brought it up, Andrew.
I will say that was like 8 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it
No,
was.
So let me add on to that
2015.
Maybe
story.
19,
We had old JT Habersat. It was the Altercation tour with Jay White Cotton and a few other comics. And JT was closing it out. White Cotton went up. White Cotton did a suicide joke, and it was like within a week of when y'all were there. It was really fresh, and like the crowd was like, "Oh," like, but people were laughing, but it was kind of. And he's like, "Whoa, that's weird." And so he gets off a stage, and then Charles goes up to him again and goes, "Hey man, just let you know that suicide joke wasn't you. It's just one of our good friends just killed himself, and he was a comic, you know." And so JT's already on stage, and you hear White Cotton go, "What? A comedian killed himself 2 weeks ago and no one tell me? That's awesome, guy." Like the whole show. It was
funny.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a good time. And then Derek Sheen did a suicide joke like a week later and it went swimmingly. Because,
I think a week is the most you need.
Yeah, that's
more.
right.
That's about it.
Yeah, dude. After that, what are you, a pussy? Come on.
Yeah.
Listen, we had a guy die in Houston. I wrote a joke about it, and I did it for a while, and then I started to feel bad about it.
Rest in peace, Andy Huggins. No, I'm joking.
Listen,
It's
come
great.
on.
It's on
He's
his
trucking
way.
along.
It's on his way. It won't be too long.
The Reaper has.
We've heard his jokes.
made
Yeah.
I mean, I love
appearances.
him, but it's not
Andy's-
too long.
Love
He's
Andy.
not long for this world.
I got to book him quick. I don't want
He's
to come out.
blowing up right now.
Yeah, he
what
is.
what a way to wait till the end.
My biggest fear. Yeah.
It's like that's when you blow up.
It's like
hey, listen, you
it's
just keep
peaking
plugging
at-
away,
yeah.
and eventually you'll get your pop. You'll
Yeah.
figure it out, and
It's
then it's
like-
just at 97.
Peaking in high school, dying in college is essentially what it is.
I hope that happens to me.
My biggest fear, and
I
I
just
don't
want
know
to
if
tell
you've-
a dick joke and have a heart attack on stage.
why you're doing it.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is that we bring in like a big comic, they're touring and everything, and this is the place they die. And like, oh, he died in Lafayette. Now I have that stink on me. When the first time we had Bobby, I'm like, oh, Bobby's big, buddy. And like, please don't die,
Yeah,
That's
We're dying.
Yeah.
down
I
here.
think about dying. I sometimes think about having a heart attack on stage. Not like I'm trying to.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I think I think I might die tonight.
I think it may be your most viral clip. Then.
Yeah.
I think that Mexican food we ate earlier was going to
God,
kill you.
it's fucking me up, man. We stopped in Beaumont and
Okay, I was about
got
to say
fucking
here, but
Beaumont Mexican food, which is not great.
racist Mexican food?
It was fine, but it was just, dude, I had heartburn as soon. I'm dying right now from it. I'm like shitting and farting and fucking. It's a
Great
mess,
car ride.
dude.
Yeah, great car ride.
No, I held it in the entire. I'm a good passenger or a good rider. I held it in for 2. I even go at one point. I go, we got to stop and take a shit. And he goes, we can get off right now. I go, let's just see how long I can make
Yeah,
it. Made it all the way.
Yeah. Whose car? Yours?
Yeah,
It's my
everyone's-
car.
Oh, your car?
Everyone's favorite game to play. Let's see how long I can hold
Yeah.
it.
You know, it's funny. I did have as soon as we pulled in the parking lot, I did have to pee next to the car because I was like, I needed
Not
to
gonna make
release
it.
a little pressure.
Well, wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, just don't eat tonight. That'd be great.
No, I'm not gonna eat again.
Okay.
I'm
Ever.
done, dude.
Don't
I'm
eat
never-
ever. That's
I need
Never
to not.
eating again.
That's my
I know that
philosophy.
feeling.
I need to not. I'm just glad to have AC.
All right. So we go way back.
We do 8 or 9 years probably.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, right. Or,
I think I'm coming up on 10 years in November of doing comedy.
Yeah, me and Tyler both at 10. I think the first time I met you must have been JP's, and then I went out. You had put me, I think it was like 2016 on the Come and Take It festival. I ended up
Nice.
doing that because we had Canaan. First time we had Canaan here in Lafayette was JP. So me, him, and Dave Ross.
Oh yeah, that
we
was
did that.
fun.
I think like a Sunday, which was huge. That
was a fun fest.
Yeah, that was good. You had like Eugene Merman, all these. big
Yeah,
people.
that year was like Eugene Merman, Brian Posehn.
You had the Broken Lizard dudes.
Yeah. I can't remember, dude. At this point, I've done so many festivals that I'm like, I try to remember all of them, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is impossible.
No.
But they're fun. I'm never doing one again.
I was about to say
Yeah.
you didn't do one this year.
I
No?
don't want to.
You thought?
Yeah.
I don't want to. There's a small chance I do one because a company like came to me and was like, "Hey, can you help us do this?" And I was like, "Oh, so with none of my money? Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, let's
none
do
of my
3.
money.
Yeah.
Let's up the budget."
Yeah, it's on my list. Like I'm looking at probably early 2025 to do one, but I was planning one before COVID, and that screwed everything up because I was gonna use this venue, another venue we're doing. But I think the plan now is just gonna do 3 to 4 days here, like a Thursday, like Friday, Saturday, and maybe like a little on
Just
Sunday.
at the hotel.
Just here, yeah.
Well, you could do a couple stages, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, like, really, this room is great because we can do 300 fully sold out. So I'll just run into here and bring in the headliners and some theme shows for like late night things.
Yeah, for sure.
I got this idea.
Don't you guys have Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was being silly.
Don't you guys have a comedy festival here? Didn't I
So
see Coolidge say he was headlining a comedy festival here?
So John
Am I
Merrifield,
wrong with that?
Yeah,
No, you're right.
No, it's so I'm talking about like a true and proper festival with like
A good one.
well, no, just like bringing in your high end headliners.
Yeah.
You know, this one was cool. We had headliners, but it was like we weren't. You know, because I helped John co-produce and everything,
Yeah.
and then Tyler was involved and everything. So, but it
Sorry,
was
I didn't mean
like
to shit on your
No,
festival.
you're good.
that's great.
It's done with intent. The first year
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
regional headliners only, like
Yeah,
from
yeah,
like
of course.
this area, and
Yeah.
then this year we went a little bit farther out. Grabbed
Gotcha.
some Houston people,
Yeah.
some Tennessee, but all like low level, very low overhead.
Yeah.
Worried about having
Yeah.
to come out of pocket any.
No,
So-
I'm talking like a proper, because like
With
kinda
big
like
names.
like Altercation does.
Yeah,
He'll
of
do like
course.
3 or 4 nights, just like that. So looking at that, doing like 2 headliners a night, and just like making it a big one and everything. So it's just, I think the hardest part is finding dates that's good for the hotel, because that way we can block off rooms and all that, but also
Yeah.
sponsors.
Karate or
And they don't like to go
Yeah.
so far in advance, right? That makes
Yeah.
it hard because you want to plan a festival
You need
for
4
like
months.
Yeah,
and
6
Oh,
5
yeah.
months.
Yeah.
advance.
Yeah.
And you need more than that, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to be like, I think 8 months.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
beginning to end. 8 months you start booking. 3 months later you're on sale, and then you just hope for the best.
Yeah. And deciding if we could do submissions or just invites the first year, which that's what I'm kind of leaning toward.
Invite only, man.
Yeah.
That is the way to do
Yeah.
it. Unless you do submissions and the submission people get paid well. That's the only way I can.
You mean the
do
people
submission.
the submission people that get on
that
the
make
on the
it?
festival?
They get paid. Yeah. If you do
Yeah.
that, then that's the only way I can ever justify someone charging for a submission.
Yeah.
As if like
That's where I'm at.
Because otherwise I think it's a bad taste in everyone's mouth. It feels weird. I don't know. And a lot of the festivals, someone got mad at me for saying this on another podcast. They
Hell yeah.
deleted me. They deleted me off of Facebook, and then reached out to my partner when they wanted to come to Secret Group. And they're like, "I don't think Andrew likes me because I charge submissions for my festival." And he was talking about online. Andrew was talking about how people that charge for festivals and have me, like someone my size headlining, is the most insane rip-off scam in the whole world. And I was like, you shouldn't be paying for that.
Yeah.
And I'm very outspoken about that. And I didn't say this to this guy, but he got personally offended by it. I was like, you're the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you read this or saw me say this and then got offended and hurt and thought I was being bullying you, you're the problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So sorry.
No, I agree, because it's like, paying $35 to submit for a festival, and there's no guarantee your video is even being watched too.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of it's always kind of wonky.
Yeah, they should have to reply back with listen,
Yeah.
I like the first bit, the second bit about your mom.
Yeah,
sucked."
I need some feedback. That would be awesome.
But like,
That would be awesome.
Make it worth their $35.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's a tedious. I've helped out with 2 festivals review submissions, and like this is gonna be fun. Like, give it to
No,
me.
it's not.
I
How
like
many?
number
How many
9.
do you roll? Like you're like less than a minute in. You're like I already don't. I don't.
Oh
need
yeah,
to
tell
you can.
quick.
You
A
can
lot,
tell.
yeah.
I mean, we talked about on this podcast,
Yeah.
like when you make a tape, what should it be? I don't want the whole intro. I don't, everything. But man, some people, and it's like back of the room behind the column, the microphone's all muffled. You can't. It's like,
yeah.
come on, dude.
Audio's
This
so
is-
important in a tape
yeah.
too. Open with a banger.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, so going back, so we met there, and then through the Secret Group, going out there and all the shows, and we've co-booked people, and help people get runs
Yeah, of
together.
course.
So
And I think I've done comedy in this room. I feel like 8 times. At this point.
yeah. You open
I
for
don't-
Marc a lot when he's here.
Lewis,
And-
Jay
yeah.
Gomez,
Nice.
Mark a couple times, a few times with him.
Did we do Van Curtin here?
We've done, me and Van Kirk
Okay,
have been
yeah.
here a couple times. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. We got
and
him come back in
then-
September.
Yeah, and then there's, I don't feel like there's someone else, but I can't remember.
Yes, Jenny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Zagreen.
Yeah, it's a green.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is a fun room.
Nice. And then you still plop down in Houston, huh?
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
For now, I got some stuff working, but I think I like Houston.
Yeah.
We don't have power ever. That's pretty cool.
I make no
Yeah.
qualms about this. That is my favorite place to go do comedy in the country. I mean, I love Houston. I feel like it's where I I guess if I had to go, snap my fingers and go anywhere else to do comedy specifically, it'd be there.
I think that's not a bad. Not that this. I think you guys do better shows, like one-off shows. I think you guys have like similar attendances, sometimes better even, because I think there's less going on in this town. No offense.
No,
Right.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
we
think
do
you're,
that.
I think you're correct. Like
that's why
our,
we're dying down here.
our local showcase, like our Stone Drunk Sober is huge. Like we'll do 200 people for
Yeah.
that. You
And-
know, but we don't get to do. I can go to Houston and do 6 shows in 2 days.
And that's the
trade-off,
thing
right?
about Houston
Yeah.
is Houston has enough clubs and enough mics and enough things where you can be like, you know, I mean, sometimes if I'm working on something and I do it right and I get special dumb privileges, but I'll do it on Monday. I can do 5 or 6 sets.
Yeah, that's
which
crazy.
Is pretty
Right. Yeah,
awesome.
that's
on Monday,
insane.
you
We
know?
can't do that a week. We have
Yeah.
2 open mics now, about to be 3.
Got to drive 2 hours to do.
Yeah.
If I want to do 5 shows a week, I got to drive 2 hours,
Yeah.
and 3 of those
Where
are
are you
open
going?
mics.
Lake Charles,
New Orleans,
Lake
Charles,
Charles.
that's an hour.
the
Baton
North
Rouge,
Shore.
an hour.
Lake Charles,
New
they're coming
Orleans,
up.
North Shore.
They're like
Yes.
he's making like a real effort.
Yeah,
You know?
I
He's
every
following
time
the model.
I hit him up, I go, "Hey man, you interested in this? This is how many tickets you need to break even." Boom, 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 and Jacob's rolling with it. So
Yeah,
we just
he's
booked a
been
couple
sweet.
shows this week. So
I've headlined there with him before. I was supposed to a couple weeks ago, but the place got tornadoed.
Yeah,
It's back. It's back.
Oh, it's back?
Library
Yeah,
Riot.
it is back
yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah,
I think
it
this week or next week is the opening.
All right.
Reopening.
The tornado's like, is this a real library? Let me destroy it. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
We don't want to further
We don't need
education
books in
Calcasieu.
Louisiana.
Yeah, yeah. No. We don't. Jessi, what about you? So,
Oh, I was gonna say, man, Houston is great, especially with like new material because the crowds are so diverse. There's a little bit of everything, and if your jokes don't work in Houston, that joke sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's good.
say
That's
a
good
lot.
point.
I like phase 2 my material there.
Yeah.
Like I'll work on it here, and then I love to take like a new joke to Houston and do like every show at the Secret Group on a Friday, and just see how that joke made it. You know.
I'm in Austin now, and I mean, if you go to a mic, it's empty.
Yeah.
Shows
Oof.
pretty just.
I feel like you
kids
have
for
to
the
go
most
into
part.
Austin with a lot of momentum right
Yeah.
now. Otherwise, it's like you get lost in the sea of other people trying to do
And
something.
it's
Well,
a-
a sea of mutants.
Yeah.
It's all crazy people.
Gross.
They literally have like it's like a guy in a wheelchair, a guy with no arm, fucking. There's an eye patch dude. There's
There was a guy in 1 day or maybe 2 days. He got banned from 3 clubs.
when I hear stories of people that
That's how you
get banned
start.
from an open mic,
That's
I'm
how you
like,
start.
How bad is
horrible
it?
are you?
I
And
don't think he
especially in
even-
Austin because I've seen white dudes say the N word on stage. And everyone's
Right.
like, yeah, we don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's just white dudes in the crowd.
yeah.
But
You can tell by their torches.
there was a guy that smashed a guitar in front of the Mothership and was like, "No one understands. Y'all don't understand my comedy."
Was that recently?
Probably like a year ago.
Oh, okay, okay. Because there's another guy
Pretty
hanging out with a
hilarious.
guitar every time I'm there, just up and down the street. And
He's just a homeless guy.
oh, okay, well,
I get why you would think he might be a comic.
he looks sad. So
What is y'all feelings on like Kill Tony and its impact on? I think it's like weirdly negative. I think it's just it encourages this mentality that you don't have to be good enough to pop, and it's weird whenever somebody gets. And I don't know if this is just coming from jealousy or what, but it's weird when somebody gets something and then they can't do the job. Like if
Yeah.
you can't do 30 or 45
Well-
because you just can't, but they're giving it to you, it's like, man.
Well, so many people are going there and doing it for the first time ever. How many
know.
times have you watched a Kill Tony clip and they're like, "This is my first time
Right.
doing comedy."
Yeah.
Over and over.
Then you start getting showcases.
Yeah.
Do 10 minutes. I
Yeah.
got 3. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not their fault. When you start
really
comedy,
ain't.
They
you're
don't know
very
any better.
optimistic. You're
Yeah.
like, "This thing's cool," and you see other people doing it. Especially if you go to like local shows, you're like, "I can do this."
Right,
If these guys
yeah.
can do it, I can do this.
Well,
Yeah.
it changed a lot of new comics. Even in Houston, we get a lot of these comics, and they write jokes 1 minute at a time. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like a 1 minute. Like they're
Yeah.
like, I'm working on my new minute, and I'm like, what?
What?
A 1 new minute, dude. You know, and so, and then they literally get 5 minutes together, like minute at a minute, like that, and then they're like, oh, I got 5 minutes. I'm like, hey, you don't really, but you know,
Yeah.
like it's definitely strange. I don't love it. I've got some qualms with the whole thing, but you know, I'm happy for them as a group. Like they used to do Secret Group and not sell Secret Group out. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And so we've had Kill Tony at Secret Group probably 4 years in a row. You know, and and they used to not sell. Now they're
Yeah.
doing these big arenas
Yeah,
and
now-
shit.
yeah,
So
which
good
is
for them.
crazy.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I put the fault on, and we've talked about this. I put the fault on producers who book people who do a minute, and then they get them to go headline a show
Yeah.
or do like 20, 25
They're
on
just
a showcase.
looking at the ability to sell tickets.
We
is
know
all.
we know someone who runs a Don't Tell show, and that person I think lost their show because they had the most negative feedback. They're like, Don't Tell people were like, we never get emails about complaints, and they had so many about this one person, and it's someone who's
It was a Kill Tony Golden ticket winner.
Oh, nice.
so anyway.
I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because it's brought a lot of attention to Austin.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so many comedy fans in Austin, but also there's so many comedy fans in Austin, and a lot of
Right,
them
yeah.
are
Yeah.
just shitty people.
I was just there, last week, and I mean, I loved my time there. I did the Creek, I did the Mothership. I freaking love that place, but I couldn't imagine, like, I wouldn't know where to start as far as working. So, like, where do you go up? Where's your clubs you're doing?
I like going to Creek. There's a new club called Black Rabbit. That's great.
Yeah.
The few times I've done the Mothership mic has been awesome.
Yeah.
That thing's full every time. Where else? Roscoe's is great too.
Yeah.
That one's cool. It's not on 6th Street, which is, I'm 36 now, so I hate being down
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's just drunk children everywhere.
Yeah,
but
36, so old.
I stay like above. I stay above 6th Street, like the 12th or 15th
Yeah.
streets. That way, the homeless guys don't have the stamina to chase me. So it's pretty good, you know.
But yeah, I mean, Sunset Strip's all right.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet, but
It's cool. Yeah, there's so many shows going on every day. But there's also so much competition.
Is that what drew you out there? Just something new?
I'll be honest.
Feel like you conquered
I felt
Houston
like I
or
had
what?
some steam going in Houston,
Yeah.
and then I went to Austin, and every time I would go visit, I'd get a bunch of spots, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'll just move here, and all those spots went away.
Yeah.
Dude, my
Like, oh, you
my
live here
favorite
now?
Austin comics don't even work Austin. They just live there and go travel. Like
Yeah.
Cody Myers and Roderick McDaniel, they hardly ever
like
work Austin.
the pre-COVID days. So you had like that scene. You had Sure Thing, which was really big. You had the Valve.
Show's gone.
Yeah, I know when they put that.
Oh yeah, the
I got
Valve's
to do
great.
it
How did I
once,
forget the Valve? That's
but-
that's
the
where I go up
Valve.
the most.
You have the Fallout Theater now. That evolution of that. You know, you had a bunch of other little places that were great, and it's just like two big scenes, just kind of headbutting. But I don't know. I don't.
I like the balance between
yeah.
the two. I didn't.
Yeah.
The old scene didn't really fuck with me all that much. I didn't like. I'm friends with some of them and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you know, like I'm at like. I do the Valve now. Like I headline for like a weekend or whatever. I can do shows whenever I want over there. The Creek fucks with me. Like all these people fuck with me, and it's great. Before though, you know, the old scene was so cliquey and then like so annoyingly woke. That now that it's crazy on the other side,
Yeah,
where
it's
they're
pretty
the
crazy.
opposite of annoyingly woke, where I'm like, I
Yeah.
miss the annoyingly woke, but it's
Yeah.
balanced it out. Where some of those people have come over, some of them don't fuck with the other side
Yeah.
at all.
It's like a weird high.
But
It's like
a
a high
nice
school
balance. I
musical
can
gang. you know?
Now I get to hop between the two because the annoyingly woke's like, oh, he's not so bad because
Yeah.
they're way really bad. Those guys are bad.
It's
This
like,
guy,
it's like a high school. I hung out with the stoner rock dudes, and I hung out with the nerdy band dudes,
Yeah, I like
and
to
then the
hop
football
around.
dudes. I don't care. I'm Switzerland.
Yeah.
Are they in the middle? They're neutral. I don't know.
Who?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Switzerland.
yeah, they don't have guns.
Well, Austin,
I'm not sure. But
Yeah, I'm a pussy too.
like the city in general is just blowing up. There's so many people moving there.
Yeah.
I think it's overcrowded and people will start leaving and it'll balance itself out eventually. But it's cool that it's growing, but it's so, not to say that I'll keep Austin weird thing. It's like a different kind of weird.
Yeah.
now. It's
an
blown
oasis
up.
within Texas, which is crazy.
It's
you know?
blown up like
It's always
crazy.
been like that. Like going back to the days like early 2000s, I would go to South by Southwest before I did comedy. I did music, you know, going over there. It was always this very unique city, you know, and now it's just comedy's
Yeah,
kinda
Austin
taken-
Open Access Channel is one of the funniest things you could ever watch.
Well, the funniest thing I've found is every Uber I take, if they're talking, all they do is complain about Austin. It doesn't matter if they've been living there their whole life or if they just moved there. Everyone complains about Austin.
that's crazy to me because I also think that Austin's probably one of the only cities you could live pretty well as an Uber driver. Like you could probably
yeah,
make
yeah,
a ton
yeah.
of money
Nonstop.
because that shit is every night. It's surging. Sorry, I've been fucking with it for 5 minutes, and I didn't know what to do.
This podcast brought to you recycling.
But like it's surging every night. They have festivals every 2 days. You know, they have shit all the time where they're constantly surging. So I think, what do they got to complain about?
Yeah.
It's funny to me that people think you either got to be in Austin being woke or like anti-woke. You can just be funny.
Yeah, it is
You'll
like
be
this.
doing
That's been my
fine.
You can be a
motto.
good human and
You
do
can be-
comedy, you know?
Well, let's not go that far.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
be
know. I
funny.
don't know how many. I can't count 5 comics that are good humans.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, there's 4 of us here.
Let's bring them out. Wait, what?
None in this room.
So let's go back to you, Youngblood.
Uh-oh.
Youngblood. You put out the special.
I did.
What made you decide, all right, it's time? Because I think everyone thinks about their own material
I felt ready. I just felt ready. I had been hitting like a good stride. I'd been opening for a ton of people. I've been doing theaters. I've been doing, I really decided after I got back from Australia with Marc, we did like the month of shows. And then it was one of those things where I would be going up in Houston. And I remember like when people would go up in Houston and I'd be like, all right, that's the guy for the mic. You know what I mean? Like this guy, I realized people were starting to watch me like that. And I was like, oh, I think I'm ready. And
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what my next thing I wanted to do was. And I was like, I think I'm ready. I feel good about it. I'm proud of what I put out. I think it came out really well. I wish it got more people to see it. But you know,
I mean,
but that's just kind of how it is.
goal,
you
yeah.
know? I think when you put it out on YouTube and you talk about the different things I like to talk about, sometimes shit gets nerfed and all that stuff. But I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's I think it was a good step and I feel very proud of my first special. And I'm working towards a second and I'm so far away from that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, that was my follow-up question. Like now that you've got that, are you still holding on to some of that material or you're...
Some of it I'm holding on to.
Yeah.
Like tonight we got that show and I was like, in my head, I booked this like run of shows. I was like, all right, I'll be running like my second one that I'm doing. I think I got 20 minutes of new.
Yeah.
And so of course I'm going to be doing some old and some new and some shit that didn't make the special, but I still have, in my pocket. And so yeah, it is kind of funny. It is funny when you go up there and you're like, well, now I got to write new jokes and you go up and you're like not wanting to do any of your old stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like at a mic and you're just going up there with ideas and then you're like, oh, fuck, this stinks.
Yeah,
Because you go from like doing really well with, running that special. He toured with me the 2 weeks prior and it just felt good.
Yeah.
Every show felt good. Nothing was, even our shitty shows with low attendance and whatever, I was like, that was still good.
Yeah.
It felt great,
Yeah.
So I went from like feeling good every show I was doing because I was preparing and had all that stuff ironed out to now I feel bad even when I do good. Because it's
Finally, someone says it.
yeah, I feel bad when I do good now. And so
You're describing my last 2 months. Like
That's just what it is.
Just in a funk, just kind of,
yeah, I get off and I'm like, man, that stunk. And then someone will be like, that was awesome. And I'm like, what the hell did you watch? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, that's how I feel about it now.
I like how you transformed the box for your special.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I
man.
think if you wouldn't have like told me that that's what it was, I wouldn't even have recognized.
Yeah,
the room.
nobody does. I put a bunch of money into. I spent a lot of money of my own money to make that thing look good and. The
It's
film.
success.
Yeah, I felt like it turned out really nice.
And they left some of the curtains are still up.
Yeah, we left the
I was
curtains
there,
because it was so good.
And it just exactly
Yeah,
you
yeah.
elevated the room by making a special there, dude.
Yeah, and we just left most of the curtains up because
Yeah.
we're like, man, that was a huge difference.
No,
So,
it looks really good. You put it on Mark's YouTube channel.
yeah, Marc
So
Norman's YouTube.
It was that helped for a good pop, get some
Yeah,
people.
I think so, and it's still, it's only been out 2 months.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's it?
I know. That's what I keep saying, right? In my brain, I'm like, oh, this thing is just not going anywhere. But I'm at like 50,000 views, and it's only maybe 2.5 months, something like that.
Yeah.
I'd be
So I'm
proud.
like, this is pretty.
You're right to be proud.
I'm not upset by it, but I'm not super happy. I don't know. Is anyone ever happy with anything they ever do?
No.
So I don't know.
One of
I'm
the-
happy the way it turned out. I'm less happy about the results.
Yeah.
Something I was in a funk years ago, and I mean, you go in funks all the time,
Yeah.
And this comic after my set at a mic, I was just staring off into nothing, like the Vietnam stare. He's like, "What's up with you?" I was like, "I hate all my material." He goes, "Oh, you're a real comic now." I was like, "Oh, thanks, man."
Wear that badge with
It made me
honor.
feel so much better. Like I just
Yeah.
had
You do.
that was like my first plateau.
I just did a week in New York, and like you talk about like when you go visit a place, they give you all the spots. Like people, like you can tell local comics like, how'd you get that? I'm like, man, I'm just visiting. You get to live here all the time. Sorry, and did so many shows and great things and clubs and everything, and it was weird because. And we this is a theme of our podcast is like living here, and then when we get to go out and do things outside of this market, you're like, it's kind of like, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side, and like, I want to eat that grass, you know. And it's like New York, you can do so much, Austin, Houston, everything, and then you kind of come back here, and it's like
Host our mic for 7 people.
yeah. It's just like, you know, it's like the worst thing in the
come
world.
down from, I think there was like a weekend or something where you opened for a tell, I did Skankfest.
Yeah.
And we met back up and we were like,
Like, how much,
we're here again.
Yeah, what gauge of rope do I need to hold my body from the rafters? You know,
But
so.
I think, and you know, Houston's a big city and whatnot. I love coming home after a weekend into Houston. Like that Uber from the airport into the Houston skyline. I know I'm going to be home soon after I did a weekend of shows or like a week run or something like that. I'm like, like it feels good. It's nice to have a place where you're like, this is home at least. You know.
Yeah, that I'm good with that. But it's just like coming back and going, all right, I was doing 3 shows a night plus all these other things, and now I'm coming back to like this, you know. And so it's the struggle we talk
We also
about,
got to
but-
remember though that there's so many people in the scene who look at us like, oh, wish we could do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had a car. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I was taking a 8-hour trip with a comic, and all I was doing was bitching about comedy as soon as we got in the car for the first 30 minutes.
Oh,
and
you
he
should go
goes,
on the road with us.
Yeah. He goes, "Hey man, you know how many comics would kill to do some of the stuff that you've done?"
Right.
And I'm like, well, they need to set the bar higher because I haven't done shit.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, like when really rich people complain about shit. You're like, but you're the rich. Yeah, but
like you
know.
said, grass is always greener on the
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's happy.
No.
That's it. There's no reason to be happy.
But enough about my wife. Thank you. No. She doesn't listen. All right. We've covered this many podcasts.
Now we're cooking.
She listens when I edit this, and she's like, "Are you talking about me?" I'm like, "I'm sorry." Yeah. Poor Mike Kaplan.
I'll cut it out.
Yeah. I'm not cutting it out.
Is ounce of hope weed?
Allegedly,
It's
yeah.
Delta 9
They're like
CBD.
Delta 9 THC, like the low THC amount. They're like.
Do you guys have
Nashville.
Delta 8 here? Is that a thing?
We have medical. We have medical weed.
Oh, you have medical?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Legal
wow.
here, right?
yeah,
Look
yeah.
at that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so a good buddy of ours, he loves comedy. He wants a sponsor, made these, and yeah, good dude. And
good.
Yeah, good dude. Shout out Ounce of Hope, one of our sponsors. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm plugging for you guys.
I've been hearing a lot
We
of
do
good
the
things
ad
about
reads at some point.
this room. I've been wanting to do Lafayette
This is
for
the
a
best.
while.
This is the best room in the state.
Dude,
I confidently say that.
I have two things always people say, like, how's that room? And when I have to email agents, like they want pictures, I send them one, and I'm like, all right, here's the room. I'm like, Mark Norman calls it the best room in Louisiana, and Todd Berry likes this room.
Okay.
That's
cool.
it. That's my
And
business card.
nobody likes Todd Berry.
I love Todd Berry.
Right, that's the point.
we both have cats. We get along great.
Yeah.
But no, it was just like, you know, he wrote a whole book on like, you know, shitting on green rooms and all this, and like he likes this room. I'm like, okay. You know, and I avoided booking him until I had a room like this. But yeah, it's a magical room, dude.
Not tonight. It won't be that tonight. But it is a good room.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Gonna
but-
jam pack this place with open micers.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't you worry.
I will listen. That one of my favorite things about small towns is you do get like the open micers that are like excited just because there's something happening.
Yeah.
And they'll come and they'll watch shows and they'll not here. No. Well,
Sorry, go ahead. Move
They'll
on.
do another place. Yeah, I did a show in
to the three that come. Thank you. But
I did a show in Hawaii, and it was a open mic. They did the open mic first, and then they did headliners, which is weird, but whatever. That's their thing. But they would go up. There's like 20 people before the show started. They would go up, they would do their set, and then they would walk over, and then they would sit down. And then they did that one at a time. Not one of them fucking left. Wow. They all watched each other, laughed at each other's jokes, and then fucking watched the headlining show. My fucking brain was exploded. This was way before COVID.
We're pretty good, like, at our mics. The people that come out, they'll stay.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's no other thing to do unless you go home, you know? So we got that. It's just getting people out here, you know?
Our scene, their open mic scene in Houston, they're
horrible,
dude. They're just like talking. The comics are all talking in the room, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Blessed to not have to be a part of that.
Every once in a while, if you talk to Houston comics, they'll be like, Dad's angry. I'll be on stage, and if I hear comics talking, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And then I make it awkward for everybody, and the crowd's like, we should leave.
Mommy. So I'm going to throw this out. We haven't done this yet. But we do a segment on here called Hack Watch.
All right.
All right. So
I've got names.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
You send them to me. He's not here. No. We'll tag you in the comments. So since you're someone, we've ran shows, so many shows, various shows. From you seeing like your local scene, okay, what are the biggest hack watches for you? What are the things that drive you nuts?
Yeah,
that you
a pet peeve
do?
that you think somebody shouldn't do, but they do, and you're like, well, that's so hacky.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest pet peeve is, I think you've seen me enough. I like dark comedy. I've always liked it.
But enough about your clothes. Thank you.
Yeah. Jezelnik is like the best, you know.
Sure.
Like anyone, like dark comedy isn't something that you can just do.
No.
And my biggest pet peeve in comedy is when someone does a dark joke, but there's no joke to it. Mm-hmm. It's just like they're just being offensive, and that's like half of Austin now.
I call them the Stanhopers.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. Yeah.
Stan Hopeless.
Because like they see that and they're like, oh, that's what I can do, and I can go up there and riff, but they're just being.
You're just being offensive.
Grossly
an
dark.
asshole.
Yeah. That's it.
I was talking to this one newer. I'll give him this. He was an open micer. He's like, can I run some bits by you? And there was just nobody in the bar that day, and I was like,
feeling brave.
He was.
Andrew? No,
and,
you.
Yeah, I was curious. You know, I was curious on what kind of maniac would come up to me at the bar.
You do love watching craziness.
Yeah, a little bit. I'll poke a bear. And so, first one was, man, I don't remember it, but it was definitely a Holocaust joke, but there was no there's nothing there.
Does he have a shaved head?
Hispanic guy?
No.
All
Okay, I was like, white guy. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. And I was like, all right, man, are you Jewish? And he's like, no. And you don't have to be Jewish to make a Holocaust joke. But there was no joke. And I was like, I think you're just being offensive. Let's hear the next one. Let's move on. And so the next one, he says the N-word and the F word.
Which one? No, I'm so going. Go ahead. Sorry.
He says the F word and the N word in the same joke.
Okay.
And when he says the N word, he goes, this motherfucking right here. And I'm like, what? I was like, you're saying it. I was like, he was like, Louis says the N word. I go,
yeah. Oh wait.
I go, yeah, but you're not him.
Yeah.
And you didn't do it. I was like, you're saying that word. And I go, my biggest advice to all of them always is take every word you say in a joke. Go, what is the meaning of this word? If it has a purpose to make someone laugh, or it has like, oh, it gets me to here, then keep it. If not, toss it out. And so he's saying the N-word as a punchline, and he's like, well, people react to it. I go, yeah, they're not laughing. They're just going, what the? He goes, I like a groan. I go, not that kind of groan, man. And so I was like, why are you saying the N-word? He goes, well, it gets like a reaction. I go, but what's the joke there? And he goes, well, what do you mean? I go, well, you're saying the N-word, there better be a reason. What's the punchline?
Yeah.
And I was like, don't say it. And also don't say motherfucking, because you don't need to say motherfucking. You know what I mean? You're just saying all these words to fill your time or whatever it is. And because they're dark and you saw someone edgy do it. But that's my biggest, I wouldn't say it's hack watch as much as my biggest pet peeve is, I mean, it's kind of hacky.
Write a joke.
Yeah, just going dark
Also,
and not being able to get out of it or know how to do it.
Those are the same kind of people who, if you criticize them in any type of way, they're like, oh, you you're just woke. And it's like, no, you're not funny.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the content. I have a problem with the lack of funny.
with the messenger.
It's weird hearing someone say, because I've heard other comics say, yeah, I mean, I don't mind a groan. I'm like, yeah, but use a groan to build tension,
Right.
and then a
Yeah.
huge laugh. I don't just
You're
end
so
on
right.
the groan.
Yeah, you're so
Like,
right.
What the hell are you doing?
Or if you're doing it, have something that you follow up with that relieves that tension. You put that tension on the crowd. How do you get
You better have
taken
an
away?
out.
And also,
Yeah.
you want people to pay money to come see you. That's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these people pay money to have a good time.
You guys are getting paid drink tickets.
I got a hack
watch.
I didn't say we met the goal yet. I said that's the goal. That's the finish line. But I mean, people come. They want to have a good time, and yeah, some people like a little more darker stuff. Some like lighthearted, but.
Yeah.
I mean, as a comic, do your job.
The
Make
whole
people laugh.
The whole
Have-
point
make
of
people
comedy
have
is
a
to
good
have
time.
people come see you. If you
Yeah.
if you were just doing comedy for yourself, then you wouldn't be on a stage. It just
Yeah.
You have to have an audience, and that's the people that pays the bills, but for the comedians and the club. So if you're putting them out, then you have nothing. You know.
Yeah. But they don't know when they're new and stuff. They just don't really get.
No.
A reaction is something to them, and they're just happy that
Yeah.
anyone is reacting at all.
But they're also leaving comments on the internet, so it's the same.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and they're cutting up their clips and throwing it out there. I'm like, no one laughed, and you put your clip out.
Dude,
Yeah, yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I enjoy watching
Yeah,
those.
Tyler's face. He just
I
got
That
was
is
like-
so.
disgusted.
That blows my mind. What people post, and I'm just like, because I'm so cautious about what I post. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be. Perfect.
I don't want to burn anything.
Yeah, and if
I'll
I do burn
something,
something, it's got to be so good,
Yeah,
or you
it's
know,
worth it,
or I've been doing it for long enough to where I don't care anymore.
yeah.
Tom Segura is one of my favorite comics, and he said on a few different podcasts, don't post anything until after year 5.
Oh yeah.
And why wouldn't you listen to Tom Segura?
That's actually a good benchmark.
I know we know
Because you're
people
gonna look
this-
back, even if you liked it, then you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm at year 10. I just started. Me and him just started
Yeah.
posting this year,
and I barely
Year
even
10.
post. Because
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's only
Nothing
because
wrong with
now
it.
I'm like, I'm not ready for a special, but also like I'm getting traction with some
But
videos
I know
here
people.
and
I know
there.
people like open micers and people who are like got on some shows. But I know certain people that will book, who will post every set they've done,
Right.
like an open mics, and you just post in an unedited, just straight up. And I'm like, why?
We have
Why would you
somebody
want
in our
that?
scene who did a set in their living room to their friends and posted it with no laughter.
Sorry, guys, I got to leave.
From yeah,
That's pretty good.
Well, it goes back to what you were saying earlier about when someone goes viral. Like, okay, post your clips. If one happens to go viral,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
and then what?
Yeah.
You don't have more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't know,
all right.
What about you?
What-
You got a hack watch?
man. One of the best compliments I've gotten, which was a backhanded compliment, but I was drinking with this comic, and he goes, "Man, when you started, I hated all your hacky bullshit, but now you're pretty good."
I'm doing the same jokes now.
When I started, I used to do the Mexican yell on the stage. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not
Sure.
going to do that right
You
now.
just speak with an accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I
Speedy
don't
Gonzalez.
realize I have an
Button your thing
accent.
all the way up, just the top.
Look, I got to defend myself
Dress
a little
like a
bit here.
cholo.
All right, when you're speaking Spanish to somebody and then you switch to English, you kind of have a little bit of.
Orale,
You've
vato.
seen me do that.
Yeah.
I've been on the phone with one of my cousins and I'm talking in Spanish, and then I talk to you and you're like, "Man, you
You should
sound
see me eat real different." Yeah. I do the same when I eat Buddha. I'm like, "Hey, my mom!" And then, I can read. Sorry.
I mean, being Mexican, it's easy to do those, like, oh, Mexicans do this, you know.
Yeah.
And I still do that sometimes. Like, if I'm at a rowdy-ass bar show, I'm like, let me do this hacky bullshit.
Yeah.
And get them to listen to me, and then I'll do what I want once I got their attention. But the thing that pisses me off the most is whenever a joke doesn't work. And let's say it's a joke about puppies, right? And then they're like, "Oh, what?
Mexican
Y'all don't like
puppies.
puppies?"
I hate that.
Chihuahuas. Yeah.
Like, they just
You're immediately turning it on the audience.
Yeah, they're like, what are you? This town hates clowns.
Not
Like,
a Nickelback crowd.
Yeah, I'm like,
I thought
your
I was
joke
in Texas.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Whenever-
actually just go, "You hate me." And then I literally just talk about it. Like, oh,
I call it
start
acceptance.
You guys
I'm
don't like me?
You guys are right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a dig out,
it.
but I do hate when the
Yeah.
dig out is part of the joke.
Yeah.
That I can't stand.
No,
that.
we all like good experienced comics use dig outs, but there's a difference.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a difference between a bad joke not landing and then that person turning on the audience because they don't have the skill set to actually dig themselves out.
All right. Well, I hate to wrap
gotta do
this
a
up.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a show.
We gotta open doors.
All these people.
Yeah, all these people. They're waiting outside. There's probably a bus.
A bus.
Short. Tell us
A short bus.
Tell us where we can find y'all. Where people should find y'all and all that.
AndrewYoungblood.com. Got all my dates up there. That's the easiest one to do it. Mark Norman's YouTube. Check out my
Watch the
special. I'll tell you this. Andrew Youngblood. If you just type in Andrew Youngblood into Google, that'll be the first thing that pops up.
Cool.
I want to get my Instagram followers up, as lame as that is.
Yeah.
But
No.
it's Instagram. That's at Theo Jessi. That's TIOJESSI.
Mexican shit.
Yep.
Oh.
Too late.
That's his TikTok handle. Sorry.
Mexican shit.
Shit. All right, that's it.
Thank you,
We're
guys.
done down here.
Want to give a big shout out and thanks to our sponsor, Gator Custom Graphics. They are a local full-service sign shop specializing in banners, wide format printing, and vehicle graphics. From your business card to your storefront, Gator has your sign and printing needs covered. Check them out at GatorCustomGraphics.com.
Yep. And we are back. That was Andrew Y and Jessi S.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. No, it was fun. If you're ever in Houston, Andrew is one of the owners of the Secret Group.
That is one of my favorite clubs. I mean, I perform there regularly. I love that place.
We when we go there, we hit that and the Riot the same night. It's always a good time. Definitely check out the Secret Group. They have bands, they have music, they have like EDM nights and emo nights. It's a really cool place. It's cool to do a show and to go hang out and just watch what's going on. But yeah, cool thing. Jessi has a show called Chicken and Waffles with
Jeff
Joe. Killer show. We're gonna try to bring that here. Be a cool little
What?
concept.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. And
Who books that?
Me.
I'm gonna have to talk to me.
I never heard of her. And Andrew Youngblood special is on Mark Norman's YouTube channel. So
I'll tell you this.
what?
I think that's what it's called.
Okay, that's fine. Fucking killing it down here. Uh-oh.
Oh, do you hear that?
Wow.
What was that?
That was a Hackwatch bird.
That was a whooping crane.
I don't know what that was. I'm delirious.
Hackwatch. It's time
Hackwatch. Graph.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm going first, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going first. If you're a producer, and I'm not targeting anyone. If you're a producer and you go into a city that you don't live in, you live far away, you don't run shows in, but you go do it, and your entire lineup doesn't include a single local person, you need to rethink that.
Man, I've heard of that happening all over the place.
Yeah.
I was talking to people in other scenes who were complaining about that happening as well.
So it's known I run shows in Baton Rouge. I bring Stone versus Drunk. It's now at the Rally Cap. We do showcases over there. I bring shows to the Manship. Every time I do that, local on that show. More than one. I do shows in Lake Charles. I bring Stone versus Drunk to old Jacob Guidry, Lake Charles Comedy. There's always Lake Charles people. I don't know what you're trying to prove. I know who you're trying to go after. But if you come to a town and you run your show and not a single local's on there, don't look for the fucking support. That's my Hackwatch.
All right. Yeah, easy peasy. I think that's clean cut.
Also, eat my ass. All right, go ahead.
Eat my ass?
Eat my ass. That's my new catchphrase.
Eat my whole ass.
Eat all my ass.
Not my asshole, my whole ass.
And if you think this applies to you, it does. Eat my ass. Eat all of our asses, not mine, because you're not insulting me because I'm not doing your show anyway. But everyone else in the scene, people who you like, you're friends with, you can eat their ass too. All right.
Well, I think that would be nice and friendly.
All right, Tyler, your turn.
Should eat your ass for your friend's ass. No, wait. Where's this going? My Hackwatch.
Wait, was I too mean?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
Let's redo this. And, go ahead.
Just trying to add some funny to it. All right, my Hackwatch is I would like to speak to the people who feel like they have certain words that they just absolutely have to say frivolously, right? Like, I'll use one here, retard. That word sometimes is thrown around by inexperienced comedians in a way that, like, they're using it as punchlines. And look, a lot of people will talk about punching down, things like that. They'll talk about using the word as a punchline. I'm not even going to go as far as to say you can't use these, like, trigger words. I don't know what else to call them. Like the words that people get upset about.
The hot button words. Yeah.
I'm not even going to suggest that you can't use them as punchlines because I think you can in the right context.
Agree. Fully agree.
So I'm not even going to suggest you can't use them as punchlines. Definitely not suggesting you can't use them. However, frivolously, I mean, you got to think about what you're doing. Use them wisely. And when done correctly, you can make great comedic moments.
Yes.
By saying these words. I mean, it's proven time and time
again.
So
let me interject here. There was a thing, like, I know Louis C.K. used the N-word in bits before, you know, and I'm not going to justify it, but like his peers and comedians who would be the people who should be the most offended were not, because they understand that. But that's a different scale.
Yeah.
But we're
not talking about Louis though. We're talking about these hacks.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. It is hackwise. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, that was the only thing I was going to make, but I'll let you finish your thing and then
it's just and this isn't even this isn't a shot at anybody specifically. It's something I've seen a lot of, where it's just inexperienced comedians. They honestly might even have a great premise somewhere underlying some of this, but then they're choosing to just use the offensive words, overuse the offensive words. Because again, I'm not trying to suggest you can't use them.
Mm-hmm.
Just there's an obvious overuse of them, and it's like the word isn't funny on its own, and I wish more people could see that. And you know, the R word is just, that's one example. There's several of them.
Yeah, there's slurs for gays.
Yeah,
there's so
little
many
people.
Yeah,
all kinds of things that even, like, I mean, just overusing the word midget. Like, you watch somebody when they say it like the 5th or 6th time in one joke, you're like,
yeah,
well, come on, man.
That goes into, like, I'm gonna do this for the shock value versus the whole thing, because I mean, you've there's all these words, and it's really, let's go back to cancel culture. I don't think that's done with. Okay, if you're getting canceled, it's because you're like,
you're bad.
You're a pedophile. Not naming names.
You know, you deserve to be canceled if you're being canceled right now.
For words, that's kind of done. You look at the rebounds of people, whatever. If I always say, I don't get offended by words. I don't get offended by jokes. I don't care what you're saying. I get offended by people who think they're funny.
Yeah.
And who thinks that what they're doing is whatever it is. It's a word. It exists. It's just a word. Look at the C word that's very popular in Britain. The CUNT word. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Which some people in America, we don't use it, but if you use it right, it works. Over there, that's like them saying ball or shit or whatever. But there's words you have to be smart. But that's the whole purpose of joke writing. Things you can say that in that moment makes it funny, but you have to have that skill. You have to have that knowledge of what you gotta know. Yeah. As Kenny Rogers said, you gotta know when to hold them, when to fold them. And some people are just freaking throwing it out. And then if it's not funny, it's just not funny. You know.
I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but I really do. I do and I did practice what I preach. You're not funny enough to talk about this stuff yet. And I wasn't, and so I didn't, and it's just the way it is. And then over time, as I started writing better jokes, I feel a little bit more comfortable being edgy because I know this one's smart and this one's going to make people laugh. And I don't think everyone has that same level of awareness. So
it's also the delivery. Like my Bigfoot FUBU joke, if you're not listening to it and you're just there, but you hear, some people hear what they want to hear. And
they hear you say the N-word, and they're like, I can't believe he said that.
I don't say that. No.
They hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, they hear. So, like that joke, if you don't know the joke, I just compare like white racist Bigfoot hunters, that's their FUBU, and then I change the letters, and it's a punchline. But the way I do it, it's punching on them as being racist. And the first time I've done that, there was a lot of black people in the room, and I was like, I don't know how this go over well. And I've done it here, I've done it in New York, and every time I do it, they get it. They understand the concept.
People know when things are coming from.
Yeah, because they understand which way I am punching. But I've done it in rooms where it's all white people, and they will tighten up the butt cheeks.
Ain't that funny how that works?
It's so stupid. And it's like, no, you got to listen to it. And that's the thing. You have to have that joke deliver where everyone understands it. Yeah. Now, people have selective hearing. When Bobby Kelly, we talked about that, when Bobby was doing his bit where a guy was yelling at him, and he's saying stuff that was being yelled at him, and of course she was blackout drunk, but she got offended, and she was like, I can't believe he's saying that. I'm like, you're not even listening to the joke. People do that, but if everyone's listening intently, if your joke's still not working because you're doing all these things, then you need to revisit. You need to revise,
Yeah.
So... All right.
Oh, yeah.
We got deep on that one.
That was Hack Watch, baby.
I've never said the N-word on stage. Thank you. Or off stage. Come on.
No, but people hear what they want to hear.
Yeah. Okay. That was Hack Watch. I don't know. Oh, boy. We're dying down here.
Oh, we are.
Thanks to our sponsor, Ounce of Hope Aquaponic Cannabis Company. Ounce of Hope provides high-quality CBD and Delta-8 through an advanced aquaponics system for the utmost in quality products. Check them out at ounceofhope.com. Right, now it's time for Rex. I almost skipped over that, so I almost forgot. All right, I'm going to put in my little rec. And my rec this week is a podcast by one of our favorite comedians, Gary Veeder. His podcast is called Number One Dad. So we had Gary here. We did a 3-night run, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette here. Great thing. His special came out. It's really good. He has a podcast, and I knew this story before from being a fan of his. When he was little, his dad would run scams. And their big scam was they would say that Gary was a Sports Illustrated kids reporter, and his dad would be like, I'm the reporter, I work for that. They would get into all these venues. He's got pictures and interviews with Michael Jordan, all kind of stuff. His dad was a con artist, and then he hasn't talked to his dad in 20-something years. And so he decided to turn it into a podcast, and it is great. As someone who's had a shitty father, who's been in and out of jail, it's amazing. And so you listen to it, and the beginning is him talking to his family and trying to find his dad, and then he tracks down his dad. They get like one of his friends acts like a fake DoorDash guy and delivers a pizza, and finally he tracks down his dad, and now him and his dad reunited, and it's kind of building up that, it's the series is not finished yet, but it's them.
Is it like highly well produced?
Yeah, it's real. It's iHeartRadio
too.
No, I think it's just straight audio.
But it's like high quality.
It's really good.
Yeah,
high quality. He's supported by iHeartRadio. It's a big old thing. He's got like Bergazzi. He's got Sam Morril in there. Other comedians. They do interviews because that's his like close friends. He tours with them, so they have them in there, which is good. And it's really cool because when he gets to the part where him and his dad sitting down, and they're kind of like, and Gary's not pulling punches. He's like, he's hitting back on his dad, which is great. And then it's kind of them kind of mending that relationship. I don't know what it's going to be later, but I really appreciate it. Like as someone who's had a horrible dad, and it's really good. But if you're a fan of Gary Veeder, and the stories are great, and the things they got to do is bonkers. And it goes through his dad, like he was sued by AT&T for impersonating AT&T, all kind of stuff.
Wow.
And so Gary Veeder, Number One Dad. You can find it on all the podcasts. Great podcast. Check it out.
Awesome. I actually can't wait to listen to that. It's on my list.
Yeah,
I need
really
to check
good.
that out.
It's really easy to binge, too.
My rec is going to be the podcast that I was just a guest on, Movie Ruiners.
Yes.
It is such a fun podcast. I know you watched the Mark episode. They've also had Sam Talent. They've had several comedians.
I need to watch Joe
Dusty
List.
Slay, Joe List. Apparently, Joe List doesn't like Goodfellas. Or no, I'm sorry. Loves Goodfellas, doesn't like The Sopranos. Whatever, Joe List.
I actually, when we were in Florida this past weekend, Goodfellas was when the second night. It was on late, and I sat there on my bed and watched it.
Hell yeah.
Drank my Coke Zero.
Movie Ruiners is great. They have on comedians. You watch a movie with them. You riff on it. They always do research, so they know a lot about the movie. They know a lot about you too, and they're always like throughout the
band?
podcast. Yeah, you too. Yeah. Woo!
I buy.
Where the streets have no name. Throughout the podcast.
That's where we drop Mark off. Okay, go ahead.
Throughout the podcast, they're giving you gifts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just so awesome. So.
All right, so I'm gonna make this here. When I go on it, I'm doing Porky's.
Oh, all right.
First
That's
one.
awesome.
All right.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Anyway, Movie Ruiners, check them out.
Yeah, when's your episode come out? You know?
No clue.
Okay.
I know there's a backlog, so it'll be a bit.
Yeah.
I'll announce it on here though. I'm sure.
Nice. All right. That was Rex. Let's get into dates.
Let's do it, man. Zip it up.
All right, here we go. So this is coming out this Sunday. I should be able to get it done. That is the 18th, August 18th. That Thursday, August 22nd, we got Tyler's crush. If you watched the first episode with Caitlin Palufo, we referenced this man. Ian Lara will be here.
That's a pretty dude.
That's a sexy son of a bitch. I was like, I would like to lick his eyebrows. Tyler, what you want, to breastfeed him or something?
I
or?
hope he comes on our podcast.
Yeah, we'll try to get that. Ian Lara, August 22nd. The next weekend, you want another Ian? People tell me, hey, you don't book enough Ians. Well, we got Ian Lara, and Thursday, September 5th, Ian Bagg will be here.
Dude, so many
He
Ians.
is a freaking banger. You want to talk about like someone who commands a room. Dude,
yeah, he's a great crowd work comedian.
He's going to be amazing. September 6th, the next night, we got Mia Jackson. She is wonderful. Comedy Central, BET, VH1. She writes for stuff. She'll be here. September 7th, Stone vs. Drunk, back here. September 14th, You Look Like. The Roast Battle will be back here, which is going to be a banger again. September 21st, I can't believe I got this. SNL alum Tim Meadows, you know him from SNL, Ladies Man,
Sold
Office. First show sold out. Second show
almost sold.
less than 100 tickets left.
Bruh,
you better get on it.
Get 'em while they're
VIP
hot.
sold out. We're going to be packed in
These
here.
might not be here by Sunday.
May not be here. And then Wednesday, September 25th, we're back at Adopted Dog Brewing. We have to reschedule that show. Hopefully it's cooler. That's going to be a killer lineup. Thursday, the next night, September 26th, Daniel Van Kurt is here. You know him from Doug Loves Movies, Bob's Burgers. He has a podcast with the Sklar Brothers. He has a podcast with Rory Scovel. He wrote for Physical, which is on Apple TV. He did stuff on NFL Network. This is going to be his third time back here, at least. He is a banger. Coming in October, Dan St. Germain, Dolce Sloan. We're back at Gator Cove with Gator Fight. October 18th, we got the golden ticket winners from Kill Tony, Rick Diaz, Heath Cords, and Enrique Chacon. Wait, what's coming?
Jeez. Dude, the
like that?
Spanish people are not safe around you.
I took 1 year of Spanish, didn't pass it.
Chacon! That's what you did.
That's the Hack Watch bird. We got it. Wait, what? The comedy drinking game coming back. Anthony DeVito, Zach Reinhardt, and Tim Smith. We got a few more on the burner. Check it out, LafayetteComedy.com, Lafayette Comedy, all social media. I am the JP Leonard on all social media. Check it out, thejpleonard.com, flushdaddy.org. Brings you all the same spot. What you got?
You can go buy tickets to my shows at the I don't know which one. Which one's better to say, the or the?
I think the British say the.
I do, but everyone goes what when I do that, and I end up saying the anyway and sounding like a
Those people are dumb.
like a Neanderthal. Anyway, so go to thetylara.com for all my tickets. I will be in Lake Charles.
I'm sorry, the Tyler.
the Tyler.
The Tyler.
The Tyler. August 30th, I'm going to be in Lake Charles. September 7th, I'm trying to host this show called Stone Drunk Sober here. We'll see if the producer lets me. I'm going to be on the Adopted Dog Show on the 25th in September. Outside of that, I'm not doing a whole lot of dates. But every single Tuesday, I host. I allegedly host.
You're there.
I say I host. I am there, and I do spots, and I help facilitate the vibes. That's
Wow.
John Merrifield's Oof
Put that
Comedy
on a
Hour.
shirt. Yeah.
I facilitate vibes. John Merrifield's Oof Comedy Hour. John's not going to be there for a couple weeks, so I'm going to be running the show by myself.
He's having his vagina removed.
Repaired.
Yeah, repaired. Oh, sorry.
He's not swapping.
He's got a torn vagina.
But that's it. That's highlight.com. Go follow my YouTube too.
Yeah.
When you're done subscribing to this one, go subscribe to mine, please.
Yeah, man. Comedy is the best freaking thing in the world. Thank
really
you,
is.
everyone, all the fans. Like it's been great. It's been a wonderful ride. It keeps on going. Thanks, Club 337, Doubletree for letting us do shows. Gator Cove, wherever else I do show, Rally Cap, anywhere else. Also, we're bringing Stone versus Drunk to Lake Charles. If you're a Lake Charles person,
Library Riot.
LC Comedy, LakeCharlesComedy.com, LCComedy.com. A lot of shows that I'm bringing here. I'm helping Jacob book over there, and we're running them through, so it's going to be great. I'll be doing a run with Dan St. Germain over there, so it's going to be great. Also, Manship Theater in Baton Rouge. I'm bringing shows over there, so Dan St. Germain, Mia Jackson, a few other shows. Check them out. Comedy. It's the greatest.
Comics.
Chuckles.
Done.
Done.